injured here. 3v3 Typhon Arena. Blue team. Evanescent plays an Eldar Warlock, offensive melee commander, great mobility with fleet, can also leap into melee combat, awesome disruption, and can tank as well. NoisyElmo alongside, also known as Pega, plays a Commissar Lord, offensive melee with some good support. Koras rounding out blue team as a mech boy, teleporting commander that fights ranged, puts out some nice damage, can also support, disrupt, build structures and repair, but he's not very tough. Illethor starts off red team as a plague champion, starts off range combat, can get melee weapons, great damage potential and utility, can heal, build turrets and repair, but he lacks mobility. Max power, is a force commander, offensive melee, awesome damage, can also tank, disrupt and support. And Kalzi4 rounding out red team is a Chaos Lord, durable and destructive commander, fights melee, walks through cover, cannot be suppressed, great offense and disruption in amongst shooter boys there. Koras trying to keep his forces spread. Heretics now in amongst sluggers. Very dangerous engagement of both of those squads early on, especially with support from both sides. Looks like the Orks will be forced off. Max power alongside the Chaos Lord with his marines and scouts pushes off the greenskins, and they can now harass this power. They've taken this VP. Sentinel getting a stomp on these Chaos Space Marines of Illethor and forces them off. That's the ground pound upgrade, 50-15, also gives a 100 health buff. Heretics hanging back. Gen's going down. Should be able to see off this harass. Illethor with double Chaos Space Marines. Very solid base, but does hurt you in upkeep. Kalzi4 with a single Chaos Space Marine squad, most likely going for Havocs or Raptors now. Perhaps some Noise Marines. Noise Marines do great on this map if you are bottom, because they can take care of turrets and hit power and stuff. Multi-last turret put up here by NoisyElmo, very cheeky. Is shooting up the node, should re-target it towards those heretics or scouts. Does it a bit too late. Heretics in amongst it. Turrets cannot fire upon units in melee range, and there you see it is scuttled by NoisyElmo, gives him back half of the resources or thereabouts. Chaos Lord with an excellent kill of the week in amongst these Howling Banshees. They are a threat, a real threat to melee commanders early on. Howling Banshees with their power weapons which do full damage to commanders. Chaos Lord, one of those that can deal with them with his kill of the week. Especially if there's nothing else around to support the Banshees. Here they are in retreat, and they didn't lose a model, and they have their aspect already. Here comes Illethor again, seems to be neglecting the top at the moment. He does have some heretics with grenade launchers decapping his natural back. He's going to hit power here. Are we going to see the Bile Spear? Bile Spear does awesome on this map for the same reasons that Noise Marines do pretty good in my opinion. Can hit power a lot. Also a pretty nice weapon in its own right, I think. We have big shooters, shooter boys. Gives them some more DPS, also allows them to suppress with aiming. What's that? Well, look at this, we have a Death Gun mech boy. He's going to get jumped by Raptors, is he? Or are they going to jump the other Orks? They are going to jump the mech boy who just teleports out. There you see them suppressing those sluggers when they landed. Mech boy setting up again, and a flat in the face volley at those Raptors. Almost took a model, they had to retreat there. Max power pushing with his tactical marine squad with a flamer. They have lost a model there. Heretics pushing still. There's a Doom Blast. Need to be very careful here though. Sentinel weighing in with some multi-last fire, and NoisyElmo coming to support the bottom with some Cachetan Devils. Very versatile tier 1 infantry, have shotguns, can deal with melee units, can also disrupt range units with their grenade launcher, can get even more utility with a Demolition Man and a Sergeant. Scouts get absolutely owned by those shotguns. Max Power not paying attention. We see the Combi Flamer up on the Chaos Lord, an awesome range weapon. He might go down here though. 8 hit points And the grenade launcher of the Catachans finishes him off. Excellently done by NoisyElmo. Bad engager for red team. Max Power lost his scouts. Chaos Lord goes down. In an easy place to revive though, you would think. Raptors jumping in. Very, very risky jump. Catachan Devils have power melee weapons which do extra damage to the heavy armor of Chaos Raptors. And they lose a model, yeah. 2 models, ouch. That was not a good jump. How much do they cost to reinforce? I think it's 75.5 or something like that. We will see. 476, 390. You have double Raptors from Kalzi4. That was the second squad you saw, losing 2 members, and they are 66.6 to reinforce. 476, sorry, 390. Here we see an improvised explosives from the Catachan Devils. NoisyElmo will be able to click that icon and set that charge off. You need a detector unit to spot it, so that would be a scout sergeant or a heretic aspiring champion for red team at the bottom. That was a smoke nade. Another awesome ability that the Catachan Devils have. They are in retreat now. Looks like red team will push back blue team, just overextended. It's very easy to overextend while you're trying to bash power here. You need to be very careful, very aware of the other team coming back in. Catachans have lost a couple of models and they have stopped their retreat. The Commissar Lord doing that, I think, with Inspire Courage. He now has Aura of Discipline, healing allied infantry. As you can see by the tooltip there, it says the effect grows weaker when the number of infantry grows. I think that was actually changed in the last patch, so it works in the opposite. The more infantry you have, the bigger the heal. I'm pretty sure that is how it works now. 434, 390, so the tooltip needs to be changed there. Illethor pushing across the top very well, has some havocs, and goes tier 2. Evanescent with Rangers and those Howling Banshees. Dire Avengers with Aspect and Exarch on the way. Evanescent already tier 2. Max Power will be the last to go. Very interested to see how these double Raptors play out. 416, 390. Devastators are set up here for Max. Heavy Bolter will suppress infantry. Also bad news for this Sentinel, even though it can't be suppressed, will take a lot of damage as it gets close. Here comes Sluggers from Koras. Already have their Knob Leader and their Burners, so this is a pretty dangerous melee squad, especially with some War Truck support. They have a Weird Boy alongside. Needs to be careful not to get friendly fire on those Sluggers, which happens so many times with the awesome artillery basic attack that he has. Ork Psyche unit, great for dealing with blobs of enemy infantry, but has some support as well. Mobility support mainly. Evanescent taking back his natural. 2 generators up here for red team. That Chaos one just completed. Now red team pushing back. At the bottom we see some Khorne Worship. Khorne Worship is so awesome. 390, 390. 1-to-1 cap, it's evened up completely. Raptors, no sign of aspiring champions for these guys. Kalzi4 is in tier 2 and he's pushing against the power by himself. This is a bad move. Took a big Weird Boy hit. Now he's jumping in, suppressing this entire block, and now needs to retreat. Catachan Devils in retreat path though with their power melee weapons. Ouch, 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 ouch. Only lost a single model through all that. Raptors able to defend themselves in a way with their suppression. If they didn't suppress that blob, they would have lost a lot more stuff. Max Power with some Devastators. Not firing for some reason. I think their line of sight is blocked. 390, 381. Assault Marines from Max now jumping in. Much like Raptors, jump troops, but they knock down models instead of suppressing them. Also have more health and cost more than Raptors. Their jump is a little better though. They can use it more often since it costs less energy. Weird Boy capping the bottom victory point. By bottom I mean southwest. And Heretics fleeing. Red team rebuilding their power. They need a good concerted push, and I think they need to hit this power at least once 390, 352. Force Commander getting his groove on, has Power Fist, Iron Halo, and is already level 2. What about the Chaos Lord? He's level 1, has Armor of the Inferno. Tactical Marines with a missile launcher need to cap. Here we go. Power Fist gets a sync kill on a shooter boy. Chaos Lord very, very close to level 2, and we are going to see them try and hit this power, these tactical marines switching from their flamer to their missile launcher. The missile launcher can also bash gens pretty well. There's a stomp on these Raptors, 390, 327. Meanwhile, at the top, the Warlock has gone down from Evanescent. I've not seen what war gear he has. The Plague Champion is setting up for melee, has the Plague Sword, which is a power weapon, and fetid armor. 383, 327. We have a sparring champion for one of the Raptors. That's that guy at the front there with a Lightning Claw, 40 DPS power melee weapon, also gets a plasma pistol. Generators survive. Chaos Lord backing off, he is now level 2. Sentinel chasing them, which is also level 2, doesn't have the missile launcher yet, which turns it into a pretty decent little unit, I think. The frag missiles are very slow. They do pack quite a punch when they do land. Sluggers caught by double Raptors. I think he needs to spread these guys out. He's jumping them in the same place, which I don't think is the way to use them, since you can't suppress something more once it's already suppressed. Should have jumped the sluggers and then jumped the shooter boys. Perhaps he didn't see the shooter boys though. Kalzi4's Chaos Space Marines have Mark of Tzeentch, Eternal War, and an Aspiring Champion, which makes them quite expensive but very effective at range versus infantry. Max Power now has a Razorback support vehicle for Space Marines, allows them to reinforce, and your allies to reinforce, of course. Also allows you to get in the back of it and ride around. Has a Twin Linked Heavy Bolter on top, which is decent damage to infantry. Assault Marines jumping in, these guys have their sergeant, he gets a Power Sword and gives them Merciless Strike, which makes them a lot more dangerous in combat. 335, 327. Plague Champion in retreat, he has Mucus Discharge, which is an AoE heal. He's level 4. Ogrins though on the field for NoisyElmo, chasing down this Chaos Dreadnought, and Ogrins do heavy melee damage, but double Raptors jumping in here, saving the Dreadnought with suppression. Was that a warp throw? It was a warp throw, knocking the Raptors on their asses, and a full retreat from Kalzi4. Still only one Raptor squad has an Aspiring Champion, he's going tier 3 in fact. Mark of Tzeentch on the way for Illethor. Chaos Dreadnought still being chased, 15 hit points, trying to force off the Ogrins, and does force off the Ogrins. The Dreadnought lives. Red team have bottom, and they are finally harassing power here. All of these generators pretty low on health. I think he used Let the Galaxy Burn on them. Not sure how effective that is versus generators, but seems to have done a pretty decent job. Dire Avengers here with their Exarch and Aspect. He looks like a Warlock though, because this is Ulthway DLC, and when you use some of the DLC you don't get the new models. Sentinel goes down. Razorback chasing it off. Razorback doing quite well for Max, I think. Ever since it's come on the field they've been pushing. Knobs on the field for Koras though. Tier 3 melee infantry can go toe to toe with anything in the game, especially when they have their upgrades, which makes them very expensive. Of course, they have these crazy two-handed chain axes, which are a heavy melee weapon, so they will damage all targets pretty nicely with the weapon they start with. Now they're in retreat, and red team are pushing very hard. Assault Marines, double Raptors, and both of these guys now have an Aspiring Champion, and these guys have the Demon Maul, 45 power melee DPS, which is slightly higher than the Lightning Claw. Of course it does attack slower, but it also gives you, what is it called, Demonic Fury, which I think does 200 damage and sends a model flying, and anything it hits will also be knocked flying. We'll see if it comes into play. Vanguard Veterans for max power turns your Assault Marines into First Company Assault Marines. lightning claw, 2 power swords, and this thunder hammer, which works exactly the same way as the demon wall. 15% knockback chance. Does not have the demonic fury though, of course. Here come Nobs. It's going to be an interesting melee fight, and he's given melter guns to his other raptor squad. A good choice, I think. Jump troop with melter guns is a pretty decent idea. Still suppressed when they land, of course. And Koras hugely outnumbered, 292, 290, 2-to-1 cap. Constant engagements at the bottom. Vanguard veterans going after that. Mech boy needs to be very careful with their 4 power melee weapons. And Power Fist Force Commander coming in, and he goes down. Force Commander hits level 3. Sluggers retreats, as do Raptors. Both Raptors in fact retreated. I didn't see if Demonic Fury went off. Should have been paying attention to that. Here comes NoisyElmo. And more Nobs, double Nobs from Koras. This is going to be awesome. As you can see, Kalzi4 is tier 3 but unable to get any tier 2 units on the field. That's how much upkeep you get with CSM and double Raptors. Look at his income. He has some crazy upkeep from these upgraded Chaos squads. 264, 290. Illethor pushing back. This Dreadnought is still alive. Almost level 2. Evanescent has taken this power. He's getting some more late Dire Avengers. Also has Dark Reapers. Warlock now fully kitted out. Witchblade of Koras and Providence, and Warp Throw turns him into a one-man army almost when Providence is charged. Devastator's set up nicely for Max. Still have this Chaos Shrine of Khorne as well, spitting out bloodletters, also giving a damage buff to Kalzi4 stuff in the area. You can see the damage buff on the heretics, what they are worshipping. They're actually worshipping the shrine, which will make bloodletters come out even faster. Getting absolutely owned here though. Catachan should be capping, I think. Nobs hanging back. Here's a weird boy, doesn't have any of his upgrades. There is Warp Vomit though on that Raptor blob, and that is nasty. Might lose a squad in fact. Melter Gun Raptors getting way too close. Looks like they will get away just about. Chaos Space Marines forced off. Koras with these double Nobs is going to be pretty difficult to deal with. Don't generally want to go melee versus melee when you're up against a Nob squad or 2. 224, 290, Razorback goes down. Then a Galaxy Burn. His Rangers still alive, have their Pathfinder gear. Allows them to infiltrate and deploy hollow fields. Looks like Illethor is going to be able to push across the top and at least decap this VP. Evanescent losing his Rangers there. Chaos Space Marines hitting level 3 for Illethor. And he has some bloodletters as well. Look at this army Koras has. Double shooters, sluggers upgraded. Doesn't have Nob leaders for his shooters though. Has a weird boy, double Nobs, and now a looted tank. Has preserved all of his squads. That's no mean feat as Orks, especially at the bottom of this map where it's so intense fighting. 224, 263, a 2-to-1 cap for blue. Evanescent is preserving his VP because NoisyElmo has come up to help. A very nice assist. Manticore strike from NoisyElmo. Illethor either didn't see it or just ignored it. Heretics in retreat. They have grenade launchers and an aspiring champion. Commissar Lord fully kitted out, level 5, power sword, carapace armor, and Aura of Discipline. There is Providence from the Warlock. Makes him invulnerable, makes him get crazy energy regen, and his abilities will recharge almost instantly, so he can spam Ethereal Slash and Warp Throw, which is what he's trying to do now. Bloodletters phase out and flee. Dreadnought is going after him. Witchblade of Koras I think is a power melee weapon, I'm not sure about that. Doesn't do a huge amount of DPS, but of course it makes up for it with the crazy Ethereal Slash that it has. You saw the Warlock there healed by the Commissar Lord's Aura of Discipline as he ran away, which saved him. There's an Imperial, ouch. That was absolutely nuts. Killed about 10 models at least, I think. Imperial Abyss, that is the tier 3 nuke for Chaos. And I'm guessing that was Illethor, and Illethor now has a great unclean one on the way. Blue team defending their power here. 224, 209. We have a Land Raider Phobos on the field for Kalzi4. 2 twin-linked las cannons on the side sponsors. Twin-linked heavy bolter. And it doesn't have a multi-motor or anything. That's all it has. Very nice long-range shooting though. And it's backed up by the Land Raider Redeemer of max power. This thing has 2 Flamestorm cannons, which are crazy big flamers on the side. Twin-linked assault cannon, grenade launchers, and a multi-melter. This thing also allows you to reinforce and provides health regen. The Phobos does not. Makes up for it for having some very nice long range shooting. The Land Raider Redeemer, much more close range combat, and of course costs more than the Phobos. Force Commander's level 3. Is he gonna hit this Warlock in the face? Warlock gets the grenade icon, as you can see, when he has the Witchblade of Koras. So you can tell at a glance if he has it. I'm not sure if Immolator also gives him a grenade icon, maybe it does. And there's a rocks from Koras. Evanescent warp throwed them out of the rocks. Oh dear. I assume he started the action before he saw the rocks icon and just wanted to use it to get them away, stop them shooting at his Warlock. But that was very, very unfortunate turn of events for blue team. Koras has a looted tank. Evanescent has a D cannon and a Seer Council, and another D cannon on the field now. Here is the great unclean one for Illethor super unit for Chaos. Very tough, good in melee, also passively damages nearby units, has some great abilities as well. Plague Champion there in amongst some Ogryns, suppressing them with Unholy Stench. And Ogryns wipe. Commissar Lord also wipes. Chaos Lord now level 6 has Demonic Visage. Great and clean one in amongst it. Is there a better modelled unit in any RTS ever than this guy? I mean, look how he's animated. His spine moves, skin moves on the back, his intestines moves, even his demon man moves are animated. It's crazy. Awesome job by Relic on the great unclean one. But look at this, another abyss. Orks in retreat, and red team look to be powering through here because max power has some terminators, and they are assault terminators, thunder hammers and storm shields. And I will say again, it's a big shame that the Force Commander cannot get a thunder hammer and storm shield when he gets terminator armor. I think that would have been awesome. 141, 197, 2-1 cap for red. Koras has lost a bunch of stuff. The tank went down here. Oh, the husk is gone now. Still has double knobs, still has a weird boy and sluggers. Fire prism on the way for Evanescent. NoisyElmo with catechins, heavy weapons squad, and he has more than enough for red to drop a rocket run. In fact, Evanescent can drop a Eldritch Storm as well, so this is not over. Illethor level 5 Plague Champion is holding this natural. Kalzi4 up here supporting, has double Chaos Heretics. Their Corn Worship, of course, would boost the speed of this Land Raider Phobos, helping it with one of its major weaknesses, which is how ridiculously slow it is. Only has 2,000 hit points as well, compared to the Redeemer with 2,500. 89, 197, there is the double cap. Blue team taking bottom. You see improvised explosives from the Catchetons again. Here come Raptors times 2. Level 2 and level 2. Jumping in, we will see Demonic Fury. There was Demonic Fury, but those guys were in retreat. Last turrets getting taken down. Here come a bunch of Orks though, including double knobs and a beamy death gun mech boy. And Raptors jump the hell away. Vanguard veterans jumping in though. Here comes the Force Commander. Tactical Marines getting way too close. And some Lightning Claw Terminators. These guys rip knobs to pieces. Level 1 knobs anyway. These are level 2 and level 1 knobs. And here we're going to see them go in. 70 power melee DPS with a splash. I think the splash is 12. And Nob's losing tons of health in a few seconds. Terminators do lose a model though. They're taking big hits from this beam of death gun. Since they're a large target, anti-vehicle weapons like that will hit them consistently. Chaos Dreadnought is level 4 and gets Markers each. No worship here for the Great Unclean One. 36,197. 5 prison for Evanescent. Blue team pretty much done for at this point. Was an awesome fight though. Red team will take a triple. Land Raid Redeemer here. Phobos is hanging out in the middle. Chaos Predator on the way for Illethor. And the Baneblade was on the way. Wasn't to make any difference though. It's 16,197 and there is the concede from blue team. Was close for a while. Very interested to see these double Raptors in play. And Kalzi4 with some crazy upkeep, having both these squads kitted out with Chaos Space Marines kitted out as well. Got to saw some Demon Maul action. Hope you enjoyed it guys. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.